Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Halloween Monday. This is the Woo Report. The Woo Report, episode 249. Coming to you live from the bunker. Hiding from the trick-or-treaters right now in the bunker. Somewhere in New Jersey. I'm your host, Sam Woo. As we're streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's a mighty fine day today for Devils fans. Halloween Monday, first place in the Metropolitan Division to start off your day after a 7-1 victory over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Johnny Gaudreau held to one shot. Siegenthaler, Marino getting into the scoring. It was a great day yesterday as the Devils are moving over to the western part of the continent to play the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow. Game day live at 9:30 p.m. Eastern and Devils After Dark after the game. I'll be doing it not from the bunker. I'll be doing it from a hotel room as I am away for the next couple days. Little Fireboy says test week coming up. Very tough week. Being on the West Coast, playing 3 Canadian teams. The Canucks, the Flames, and those Edmonton Oilers. But so far, you have to be happy. You have to be happy with your New Jersey Devils. Fighting through their slump, so to speak. First 2 games of the season coming back. Now they're 6-3. Only the Carolina Hurricanes surpassed them. Now they are in first place, and you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it. The Rangers are somehow in the third place, but they played one more game than pretty much everybody. But it will be a big test this week. How the Devils will fare on the road. Also without Palat, who is now on injured reserve. Palat, I believe it's a lower body injury. But I think the Devils will be just fine, short term, without Palat. I think they've really showed the fan base who had booed and wanted Lindy Ruff fired after that second game. Ryan Novozinski of NJ.com, good friend of the podcast, wrote about how the Devils just got pissed off. And we talked about this many, many times, especially on Devils After Dark, the post-game edition, that this team needs to show a little bit more emotion, that you care. And I think they were just so sick and tired of losing. Miles Wood was very unapologetic after the first game of the season, tired of being on a losing team. Then he kind of walked back from it. But I told you back then that, you know what, you should not even apologize for that. Nobody likes losing. I think Devils fans can be very forgiving if you really show them that you really care as much as they do. And I think that players have always cared. But the sense of urgency to turn it around, because this losing culture, you got to shake up the culture of losing and have winning. How do you do that? You play like a team, the team effort, 60 minutes. That has been the Devils' success in developing chemistry amongst each other. Having each other's back Isn't that the reason why Tom Fitzgerald got Brendan Smith? We talk about the beefalytics. We kid around here on the podcast, on the Let's Go Devils podcast. But you know what? It does all add up. They're playing for each other right now. Not for a contract. Not for somebody in the stands. They're playing for each other as a team. They have each other's backs. I know Danico has said this. Chico has said this many times on the broadcast. That mistakes are going to happen. But what you do and how you react after that mistake on the ice is what makes the biggest difference. Nobody's expecting each player to make the perfect pass or each player to make the perfect play or play the game perfectly. Nobody's perfect. But when there's a mistake made, who's held accountable? But also, make no excuses. You got to help your teammate out. And that's something that they're doing very consistently. Even through some of those little rough stretches, they're doing it well. And I'm convinced that this is not the same Devils team that was the last few years. Start off great, then just fizzle. And the bleeding can't stop. And by the time you stop the bleeding, you're already 37 games in. It's a little too late at that point. And as what we say here on the podcast, we don't like moral victories at all. Kyle in the YouTube Live says this road trio is great for them. Building right now, vets are going to keep everybody level-headed and accountable. Joseph said Fitzgerald had a good interview on Daily Face-Off today. Lindy was positively beaming yesterday and today, Dave Singer writes. Yeah, you know what? Lindy Ruff does get some credit for hanging in there. I mean, he is the figurehead. He took the brunt of everybody. Except for me, of course, because I didn't want him fired. But for other reasons. But Lindy Ruff, the coaching staff, Ryan McGill, penalty kill is looking good. Special teams is looking better. Still some improvements. But hopefully we don't see as many shorthanded goals, attempts, or shorthanded goals that actually happen anymore. And the Devils know that they have to play better. They can't play sloppy. And they have been playing better. And they haven't been playing sloppy when they play a full 60 minutes. Second period, do you have bad memories? Have you been traumatized over the years with the second period? Right now, I find that the feeling that you get as a fan is the second period is a big opportunity to shut up all the naysayers and get pissed off about it. And then Aaron Portzline, who covers the Columbus Blue Jackets, put out the reference that the BJs, the Blue Jackets, got shellacked with a half-empty building. Traditionally, New Jersey Devils and New Jersey Devils fans is an after Christmas hockey team. Why? Well, if you look at the choices people have in the New Jersey, New York area, you've got 3 hockey teams, you've got 2 basketball teams, you've got 2 football teams, 2 baseball teams, 2 basketball teams, soccer teams, 2 soccer teams. You've got a lot of things to do on a Sunday afternoon. Not making excuses. Would I like to have a sold-out building? Yeah. But the bottom line is that has nothing to do with what the Devils did to the Columbus Blue Jackets. That's what happens when you've lost pretty much every season except for one. When Taylor Hall had his Hart Trophy season, that's what happens when your team had been losing for a better part of a decade. But the Devils fan base, they're still there. A lot. I remember back in the day when I used to tailgate with my friends at the old Meadowlands, at Giant Stadium, or the arena side, Continental, or Brendan Byrne, if you're old enough to remember that. A lot of those friends have moved on. Still Devils fans, but they live in North Carolina, Florida, any tax-friendly state. So I thought that little, blurb, it's like, when are reporters just going to just stop? But that's okay, because we always had a mindset here in New Jersey that is us against the world. And that's fine. Go make your half-empty arena jokes, if you wish. I mean, when you look at Columbus, I can make a couple jokes about that team and their fans. But I'm not going to, because there's no reason for it. Rowdy Rebel says the fans fill the building when the games truly matter. Late season, playoffs, the fans are always there. Yeah, I mean, did Aaron Portzline ever wonder how much it costs for a beer inside Prudential Center, one of the highest, or maybe the highest in professional sports? New Jersey's a very family-oriented state. A lot of people that are Devils fans also play ice hockey, and everybody knows who has played the game before as a kid, in high school, even college. Ice time is hard to get, and the travel can be brutal. But that's what I think. I also think that Jesper Bratt, who second star of the week, remember when Mac Black got a star? Jesper Bratt is on fire. Jesper Bratt versus Connor McDavid, pound for pound, I would take Bratt over McDavid any day of the week. Now, you probably think I'm crazy, but I also look at salary cap. I look at everything. No doubt Connor McDavid's a world-class player, elite player, generational player. But he hasn't won anything yet. And it would be a great matchup. Jesper Bratt, the blue chip, the chip on his shoulder, betting on himself. Forget the fact that he was drafted in the 6th round. A lot of the GMs and the analytics, they all got it wrong. But the Devils got it right when they drafted him in the 6th round. Took him a while, just like any other player, to get acclimated to professional hockey. But Jesper Bratt, he was born to be in the NHL. And he's leading the team right now. Most consistent in scoring. Looking confident out there. And the Devils are going to have to pay big bucks. And Tom Fitzgerald was probably smart to have his brother in the system. Well, this is going to be a little bit of a shorter Woo report. Got a big trip for tomorrow. See you at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Game Day Live. Vinny Parisi and I will pregame, do our predictions. And then Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal, he and I are going to recap the game It's going to be a late one, folks. After the Devils take on the Vancouver Canucks. Ramona Rice says, Happy Halloween, Sam. Happy Halloween, Ramona. Dave Singer. Thank you for the comments on Twitter. Put out the John Marino touchdown call. It's one of my better ones. It's not often that you get a pick six from a D guy. Last name Marino. Doesn't happen very often. I should submit that as my demo to be an emergency backup broadcaster for MSG Networks. But I'm sure I'm not even on their radar and depth chart. But I'm just only kidding around, folks. Again, I want to thank all those watching, listening tonight. I'll see you from the other side tomorrow for Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. Keep it here. Keep it at the Let's Go Devils Podcast Network. And also, I want to thank you, the fans. Today, the rankings came out on Chartable, which we use to see how we're doing against other fellow podcasters around the league in hockey. Ranked number 21, the Let's Go Devils podcast in Apple Podcasts for hockey in the United States. Can't thank you enough. And we had our second best month ever, the October of 2022. Over 25,000 downloads. Just in comparison, if you go back to October of 2021, we had just under 15,000. A pretty big increase. And we can't do it without you, the fans. Also, American Whiskey, November 12th. Tweet up. We'll have more information about it. Jesper Bratt theme. He's the best player in the NHL. You know it. I know it. Remember, American Whiskey, 51 Edison Place, across the street from Prudential Center, next to Championship Plaza. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Dropping the podcast about midnight for your morning commute. Thank you for the well wishes. Let's go Devils, Ramona Rice. Hope to see you at American Whiskey at November 12th for our tweet up. Our Twitter account at Let's Go Devils Pod. You can find me personally on Twitter at Primetime Sam Wu. Until next time, this is the Wu Report. Let's go Devils.